Hello, I am Miami Beach Commissioner Stephen Miner. Public service was ingrained in me as a young child. My father served with the Internal Revenue Service for 40 years. My mom worked in the public school system as a teacher and guidance counselor. And then I started my career with law firms, but then moved over to the federal government doing civil law enforcement. So civil service, public service has always been something that I grew up with and continue to this day. Well, working for 11 years at law firms in New York, I learned the art of finding information, asking questions, and learning about different issues and what next steps needs to be taken. Then taking that over to federal service with civil law enforcement. One of our trademarks is transparency, good governance, disclosures, and I try to bring that and bring those skills and translate it into being a Miami Beach commissioner and trying to disclose as much information as possible to our residents so our residents can voice their concerns and suggestions to us as elected officials. We have family time every day. I think it's important that my family and my small children see the community service, see the dedication in trying to help others, and I think it's a great learning experience for them. Public safety and quality of life are my main concerns as city commissioner. Public safety is the paramount responsibility of government. People need to feel safe, and too often I hear our residents express concerns that in certain areas or certain times of the day they don't feel safe. And my goal, and my number one goal, is that every resident and every tourist should feel safe in our city everywhere at any time. Part of that includes police visibility, a police presence. People should be able to know that there's a police officer ready on the beat, on foot, on bike, on patrol. And that's something I've worked closely with our police department, our police chief, our city manager to accomplish that goal. My first project, as soon as I became commissioner, was to put lights on every palm tree on 41st Street. I've also added initiatives to add lighting on palm trees on 71st Street, also in South Beach. To me, lighting at night improves public safety. Our police department tells us that all the time. It improves the businesses at night and bringing people out to visit and frequent our businesses. And also it's aesthetically pleasing, so our residents will feel comfortable walking. I'm working hard to designate certain areas of our city to protect our palm trees. When I first raised this issue, it was a concern I had. There are only a handful of climates in the United States that could actually have a palm tree. They're not only such beautiful trees, but they withstand hurricanes, they're drought tolerant, they're salt tolerant. They're one of the perfect trees for our environment. And in addition to the aesthetics, it's important that we keep our look. Ocean Drive has so much potential. It is one of the most beautiful streets with Loomis Park right there and the ocean. We can make it into one of the greatest destinations, not only in the state of Florida, but the entire world. When I view Ocean Drive, I picture something like the French Riviera. It could be a magnificent destination for our residents and for our tourists. I recently proposed and passed through the commission an activation concept, a family-friendly activation at the end of Loomis Park by the spoil area before the ocean. There's a tremendous amount of area there, and we're going to bring in 7 days a week, 365 days a year, activations where we can bring our residents together and our tourists to provide a safe environment for people to enjoy our beach. I firmly believe that everyone should be on an equal footing in our city and have an equal opportunity. An ordinance that I passed was, I learned from a college student, Sarah Fuchs, that independent contractors did not have the same protections from discrimination and harassment that full-time employees have. When I learned that, I realized that was an injustice and that we needed to correct that. We passed an ordinance, and we are one of the few cities in the United States that provides protections for independent contractors against discrimination and harassment. So the Civilian Volunteer Patrol, or CVP as it's often known, was an idea that I had many years ago, even well before I even considered running for public office. It's something that I had seen other municipalities implement very successfully. I've had friends who've served in the role, and I knew that the benefits that a volunteer patrol can provide to a community and for its safety. Good governance is one of the most important jobs, I believe, that I have as a city commissioner. For example, at times there are competitive bids on contracts, or vendors who submit contracts are subject to waiver for a number of reasons. I am against that. I have almost always voted against a bid waiver. To me, it makes economic sense to have the market forces dictate the prices that vendors should be paying our city for the services they provide. And we do ourselves a disservice for ourselves as a city and for our residents when we waive that competitive bidding. And I have consistently voted no to the waiver of competitive bidding. I am tremendously optimistic about the future of Miami Beach for so many reasons. We have a beautiful city. We have tremendous residents who care and are active in making the best decisions and helping us as elected officials make the best decisions for our city and for our residents. And also, I recognize that despite the economic difficulties we had during the pandemic, we weathered the storm incredibly well, and I know we can get through anything.